Some mornings I walk out of my room and the house isn't exactly messy, but I still feel overwhelmed. There's a cup left on the table, a chair slightly out of place, a throw blanket draped carelessly over the couch. Tiny things, but enough to make everything feel off. I used to think if I just cleaned hard enough, the house would finally feel under control. But when you keep cleaning and your mind still feels heavy, maybe the issue isn't your cleaning cloth. Sometimes all I really want is to feel like I'm not behind, like I'm actually managing my space, my time, and myself. This video isn't about scrubbing your whole house in one day. It's just a few small things that helped me clear one corner of the chaos, both outside and inside. And if you've ever felt that same quiet overwhelm, maybe this is a gentle place to start. The first tip is something I ignored for years, until I tried it and honestly couldn't believe the difference. Sometimes we walk past our couch a dozen times a day without really seeing it. It's not stained, it's not torn, but something about it just feels tired, like the fabric is holding on to all the days we've lived on it. One small shift that surprised me, using a hot cloth and a pot lid to clean the cushions. Yes, I know it sounds odd, but you soak a microfiber cloth in hot water, wring it out well, and wrap it around the bottom of a pot lid. Then gently rub that over your couch cushions section by section. I tried this on a weekday afternoon just before dinner. I wasn't expecting much, but the cloth came away gray. It had picked up dust and buildup that vacuuming misses, especially in the spots where we rest our heads or let the dog nap. It didn't just look cleaner, the whole room felt lighter. And that's what I want these tips to do. Not give you more to-dos, but small changes that quietly shift how your home feels. If this kind of small but surprising tip caught you off guard, wait until tomorrow's video. I'm sharing 6 cleaning rules everyone should learn. These aren't hacks, they're mindset shifts, and honestly, I wish I had known them years ago. So if you're the kind of person who wants less mess and less mental clutter, you'll want to be there for that one. But first, let me show you one homemade spray I now keep in every room, because it works on almost everything. There are days when I just don't want to dig through a dozen bottles under the sink. One for glass, one for the sink, one for grease. It's too much. And honestly, most of the time I just need something that works well enough quickly. So here's the spray I now use almost everywhere. Mix half a cup of white vinegar, half a cup of water, and a single pump of dish soap into any spray bottle you have. That's it! I've used it on bathroom counters with hard water stains, kitchen tiles after dinner, even the windows when fingerprints show up out of nowhere. One afternoon, I let it sit on the bathroom quartz for 15 minutes while folding laundry. Came back, wiped it, and the stains, the ones that looked permanent, were gone. It's not fancy, but it works. And when something works, you're more likely to keep using it. The best part, I no longer feel like I need to gear up just to clean. This one bottle lives in a drawer, and I reach for it almost every day without thinking. In the next tip, I'll show you a quick way to handle those dusty, high-up cobwebs without dragging a ladder across the house. You know those little corners at the top of the ceiling? The ones you only notice when light hits just right and suddenly there's a thread of web like some secret spider art gallery. I used to ignore them because I didn't want to drag a chair across the room, but this one shift made it easy. Grab an old towel, wrap it tightly around the bristles of a broom, and use that to gently swipe along the ceiling edges. No need to tape it unless the towel is slipping. Mine stayed on fine, just tucked in. I walked from room to room doing this in under 10 minutes. Didn't think it would do much, until I saw all the faint webs and dust disappear. Some of it was so light I couldn't even see it until it was gone. When you're overwhelmed, it helps to start with what's just above eye level. Not so messy it demands attention, but quietly adding to the feeling that things are out of order. This trick makes it go away fast without becoming a whole project. And now that we've looked up, let's look down at that carpet you walk on every day and how just changing your vacuuming pattern can make it feel brand new. There was a time I thought vacuuming was just vacuuming. Push it forward, pull it back, move on. But there's a quiet kind of satisfaction that comes from doing it just a little differently and noticing the change. Now, when I vacuum any rug, I go in one direction first slowly, then go over it again from the opposite angle, like crossing the same path but from a different view. It sounds small, but it fluffs up the fibers again, catches bits that get trapped under the nap, and somehow makes even old rugs look fresher. I started doing this in the hallway where traffic is constant. The difference wasn't just in how it looked, but how it felt underfoot. Sometimes cleaning isn't about doing more, it's about doing differently, just enough to make your home feel noticed again. And speaking of daily rhythms, the next tip is something that happens quietly in the background but keeps your whole home from feeling buried by laundry. Laundry used to sneak up on me. I'd think we were fine, and then suddenly, someone needed a uniform, towels were all damp, and I'd be staring at a mountain that felt personal. Now I don't wait for the pile. I just start a load quietly, without drama, sometime in the morning or after dinner. One load, every day. No sorting marathons, no hours lost to folding everything at once. Sometimes it's towels, sometimes it's just a quick cycle of school clothes. But the habit itself has changed how I feel. Because when laundry becomes background noise, not a looming task, it stops holding power over your day. It's one of the few routines that feels like it gives back more time than it takes. Next, I'll show you how I use those natural cleaning moments like folding or wiping down a shelf to declutter without the pressure of a big purge. You don't need a weekend, a playlist, or a plan. You just need a moment and the willingness to let one thing go. For me, this started while folding laundry. I picked up a shirt, held it for a second, and thought, why am I still keeping this? It didn't fit right. I never reached for it. So I walked it straight to the declutter bin. No ceremony, just done. Now I keep a basket tucked in the closet labeled not using. When I'm putting things away or wiping down shelves, I glance around and ask, is there anything here I'm only keeping out of habit? No guilt, no pressure, just honesty. This kind of small, continuous editing is how I stay ahead of clutter without doing a huge overhaul. And every time I let go of one thing, the space around it feels lighter, like I made room for myself. Coming up, let's talk about the spots we forget when deep cleaning, but they make a bigger difference than we think. Starting with baseboards. There's a kind of dirt that doesn't jump out at you. It settles quietly along the baseboards behind doors under furniture you haven't moved in months. For a long time, I didn't notice it. I'd clean the counters, fluff the pillows, and still feel like something was off. Until one day, I wiped along the baseboard by the kitchen and the cloth came up gray. Not filthy, just enough to remind me, this matters too. Now when I deep clean, I keep a damp cloth nearby and crouch for a few minutes in each room. Just a quick wipe along the edges, especially where dust and crumbs settle. No special cleaner, no bucket, just warm water and a little attention. It doesn't make the house look dramatically different, but it makes it feel finished. And sometimes that quiet sense of done is all we need to breathe a little easier. Next, let's move to the part of the day I actually look forward to, the quick nightly reset that helps my home and my head feel ready for tomorrow. Even when the day has been messy, school bags dropped at the door dishes, not quite done toys migrating to places they don't belong, I've found comfort in a 5-minute reset before bed. It's not about making the house perfect. It's about giving the space and yourself a signal that the day is winding down. For me, it looks like this: push the chairs back under the table, fluff the couch cushions, toss the blanket back onto the armrest, turn off the big overhead lights and switch on just the lamps, draw the curtains closed. Sometimes I'll even light a small candle or wipe the counters one last time, not because they're dirty, but because it feels like exhaling. This tiny ritual helps the whole house shift into rest mode. It makes mornings smoother too, like the house held itself together for you overnight. And now that the space is settled, Let's finish with one last tip. A small natural way to clear out lingering kitchen odors and reset the air without harsh sprays. Some days the house is technically clean, but it doesn't smell that way. Leftover cooking, damp towels, yesterday's trash, it all lingers in the air longer than we'd like to admit. Instead of reaching for a store-bought spray that just masks the smell, I started simmering simple ingredients on the stove. A few orange peels, a cinnamon stick, maybe a slice or two of fresh ginger. Just toss them in a small pot of water, bring it to a simmer, and let it gently steam into the space. The scent is warm, real, and clean, not artificial or sharp. And unlike sprays, it doesn't just cover the air, it shifts it. I do this while tidying up the kitchen in the evening, or sometimes on slow weekend mornings. It makes the whole room feel cared for. And there's something about a house that smells calm. It invites you to slow down too. Now that we've covered these quiet, powerful shifts, let's take a moment to reflect on how they add up. Because none of this is about perfection. It's about peace. Let's wrap up. You don't need to change everything. Sometimes just one small shift, one cloth wiped, one corner cleared is enough to help you feel like you're back in the room with yourself. If even one thing in this video helped you breathe a little easier, then that's already enough. You don't have to do more today, just notice what feels lighter. And if this kind of content helps you, you can tap like so I know what's truly useful to you. You can also subscribe if you want gentle, grounded ideas that don't ask for more than you have to give. Oh, and if you're wondering, where do I even begin to stay on top of this stuff? Tomorrow I'm sharing something a bit different. It's called 6 Cleaning Rules. Everyone should learn. Not hacks, not chores, but actual rules that have made the biggest difference in how I clean, how I rest, and how I keep my home from taking over my headspace. I really think you'll want to hear that one, so if you're subscribed, I'll see you there.